Welcome into another video in my series where we're testing every single weapon inside of Modern Warfare 3 to see how viable these weapons are for you to use inside of your Modern Warfare 3 Zombies games. This is going to include the aftermarket parts, the aftermarket conversion kits, and the MW2 weapons. Now before we get into things today, I need to give a big shout out to each and every one of all of you for the support. Holy smokes, thank you so very much. We have crossed 350,000 views on the channel and are rapidly fast approaching 2,200 subscribers. So thank you very much. Now, all of you have left some amazing weapon suggestions down in the comments below, which brings us to today's video where we're going to be testing a weapon that was suggested by one of you guys in the comments. So in today's video, we're going through the MW2 Assault Rifle MTZ 556, and we're taking that through all three zones, going through, doing bounties all the way through. So make sure you stick through to the end of the video to find out how the weapon performs with mags of holding. And without further ado, let's get to the MTZ 556 review video today. Alright, so welcome into another video today. We're going to be checking out an MW2 Assault Rifle, and this is a weapon suggestion from one of you guys down in the comments below, and I truly appreciate it when you guys are giving feedback on the channel, as it helps me grow for sure. Whether it's positive feedback or negative feedback, it all helps me grow in the end, so I definitely appreciate all of that. So thank you all very much for the support. It's been unbelievable, I really have to say. Now today we're going to be looking at, like I said, the MTZ 556, and the trick for this weapon, you want to check the build later in the video, but we do have incendiary rounds on the MTZ 556, as this was specified in the suggestion to run this weapon. So like we do when we spawn in testing weapons inside of my videos series, we spawn in and put on our perks and nothing to add to the weapon. We do have our golden armor plate today as an extra, but we're not putting on any ammo mods, we're not putting on any pack-a-punch, and we're not putting on any weapon rarity. And we grab our first bounty of the day, which was a mangler, and I could already tell that this 556 was doing really well with critical damage on that bounty in tier 1, just white rarity. I could already tell, so I was definitely feeling really well. And you know, I have fairly high expectations from you guys when you're leaving weapon suggestions for me in the comments. If you guys have been absolutely crushing it and finding some remarkable hidden gems. So next to do is go visit the Pack-a-Punch machine, melee it so we can keep that lovely camo on the machine, and then Pack-a-Punch the MTZ 556 to pack 1, and then it's time to go and try and find another bounty inside of tier 1 and see what the difference is. Now we are white and Pack-a-Punch on the MTZ 556. So I wanted to see just how much stronger this is against a bounty contract inside of tier 1. So we go off and pick ourselves up another bounty contract inside of tier 1. This one was a mangler again, which is nice because you can see the comparison between the first bounty contract and the second one. And you can see when I hit the critical shots just how much chunks of his health bar are taken off that bounty contract. The mangler is truly awesome to see, for sure. So the next thing to do after doing that is throw on my legendary tool and napalm burst, which I absolutely love. Plus napalm burst was recommended to run with this build using incendiary rounds for sure, and definitely I can see why. You'll find out later in the video when we get to the higher threat levels to see just how much of a difference this makes having those incendiary rounds on. So the next thing for us to do is to find ourselves a bounty contract inside of tier 1, because we are pack 1, we are legendary, and we have napalm burst. So as I know with these bounty contracts inside of tier 1, once I get to Pack-a-Punch legendary with napalm burst, these bounty contracts should basically just instant delete if this is going to be a super viable weapon for us to be used. And yep, big surprise, there's the mimic, just instant gone, just evaporated him, which was awesome to see. So now, at this point, I'm really excited. Like, I feel like this is getting up there with the ISO Hemlock as far as destroying bounty contracts and just handling everything inside of Modern Warfare 3 Zombies. So we went straight to tier 2, grabbed ourselves a bounty contract, and we're not Pack-a-Punch tier 2. We're just pack 1 with legendary and napalm burst. And I want to go see what this MTZ 556 can do to a bounty contract inside of tier 2, in that we are not pack 2, we're just pack 1 legendary with napalm. And we have a disciple here, which, as you know, is definitely not my favorite bounty contract to deal with at all. However, it does give me a great opportunity to show you guys the actual damage that you can do to a bounty contract inside of tier 2, being only pack 1 legendary. So, you know, you don't have to worry about bringing in a PAP 2 crystal. You don't have to worry about visiting a PAP 2 machine. You can just Pack-a-Punch tier 1, legendary or epic on this MTZ 556, and you'll be able to run through tier 2. I'm pretty confident in that for sure. So the next thing to do is to find a bounty contract inside of tier 2, which we wanted to do. Now, before I complete this bounty contract, I definitely went to visit the Pack-a-Punch machine to get the MTZ 556 to pack 2 before I took on another bounty inside of tier 2. So we grabbed that bounty contract first, and then on the way to the bounty contract, there was the Pack-a-Punch machine, so I went and visited that, and then we picked up our Mimic bounty contract inside of tier 2. We're double packed, legendary with Napalm Burst, and I just didn't have much challenge at all finishing off that Mimic. It was super quick, and it wasn't really, like, it felt really strong. Like, I was really confident going into that bounty contract. So the next thing to do is to head off into tier 3. Now, before we go into tier 3, I bring in my PAP 3 crystal, and we put that on the MTZ 556. So we're now PAP 3 legendary with Napalm Burst, and it's time to go off to tier 3 and see what tier 3 has to offer. Before we do anything in tier 3, I always stop off and pick up all of my perks. And we're now running all of our perks. I was having a real struggle trying to find a bounty contract for us today, so I went and grabbed an Outlast contract because that was the only thing that was available basically in tier 3 at that time. So we just went ahead and grabbed our P&D contract, the Outlast contract in tier 3, and you can see just how well this MTZ handles, you know, crowd control inside of tier 3 with a whole ton of zombies coming at you. At the end of the P&D, it gets very hectic. A bunch of zombies spawn in, and sprinters and armored zombies are coming at you. And you can see just how well and how confident I felt in tier 3 dealing with the zombies, you know, with this MTZ 556. I definitely wasn't worried. I felt very confident running around tier 3 with this build and the incendiary rounds on here, as it was just dealing constant damage. I mean, look how fast that Mangler just got absolutely destroyed. I know he's just a standard HVT, he's not a bounty contract, but it definitely was impressive to see. We got a self-revive out of the Dale, which wasn't bad, an epic tool, which I didn't need, and elemental pop plans, which I grabbed to try and hand off to another player before I exfil. So the next thing on the list is to go off and grab another bounty contract, because I really wanted to try and get a Mega Abomination to see how well this MTZ 556 would perform, but I was getting Manglers and Mimics and all the rest of them. So anyway, we went and grabbed our Mangler contract inside of tier 3, our bounty contract, and you can see just the damage is not the best when you don't hit criticals, but you can see the flame marker stay on the Mangler after I'm running away, and that is the incendiary rounds doing extra damage. So you can shoot your bounty contracts, and then as you're turning away to run, the incendiary rounds will continue to burn and do damage to the HVTs, which is truly awesome. And one of the reasons why the ISO Hemlock with his incendiary rounds is a Mega Abomination Melter, this MTZ 556 with the incendiary rounds inside of tier 3 is as well just a bounty contract melter. It absolutely melts everything. I felt really, really confident running around using this. So we had to go on throw on Mags of Holding because I wanted to see how well this performed with Mags of Holding. And we hadn't visited George, the Guardian of the Arches. So we had to go visit George and see what's up. Hey, George, how's this going? George is crabby. George is very crabby recently. I feel like he's been going to Mega Abomination School and learning about the cheese spots because he is not cooperating. He's not standing where he's supposed to be. And I am not pleased. George is definitely becoming a lot more wise to our cheese spots. But I did want to show you guys this with Mags of Holding, the crowd control up here on top of my cheese spot. When everything's coming at you from one direction, you can pretty much stand here and just dish out the damage for sure. Put the energy mine there to help clear out some of the riffraff, but you can see just how well this handles the horde that's coming at you. You're able to dish out the damage pretty much faster than they can come at you. Turned the Mangler there, which was a huge help. George fired up a second laser attack here, and you can just look at his health bar just evaporate, and the incendiary rounds finished him off there before I could even fire into my last few shots. So we went and checked the loot from George. He gave me 2 ammo mods, and that was about it. So we didn't need to pick up any of those, but definitely something that is going to be viable for taking on HVTs, Mega Abominations inside of tier 3. Crowd control, well, you can see on screen right here, this is definitely something that you guys can use to clear out the hordes inside of tier 3 for sure. I mean, there is a whole ton of zombies coming at me right now. We've got sprinters, we've got armored zombies, we've got dogs. I've got just about everything but the kitchen sink coming at me right now inside of tier 3, and this MTZ 556 with incendiary rounds is definitely able to handle the horde and dish out the damage coming at you. for sure. Like I said, I felt really confident running around in tier 3 with this assault rifle. Like, I wasn't too worried about not being able to dish out the damage. You can see the carnage right there from the crowd control inside of tier 3 with this MTZ 5.56. It's truly remarkable. So now that we have mags of holding, the next thing to do is to go off and pick up another bounty contract and hope that I was able to get a Mega Abomination for us to see how this handled with mags of holding. But tier 3 was throwing manglers at me today, and that was about all I had. So we picked up our bounty contract, which was the mangler in tier 3. We now have mags of holding, which allows us to just fire a constant stream of damage towards our HVT, towards our bounty contract, and handle the hordes of zombies coming at you inside of tier 3. And it is absolutely amazing with mags of holding, for sure. Definitely. I mean, you can just see how many zombies are coming at me right here in tier 3. You can see them all just, you know, melting in front of me as I'm dealing with them and not having much issue at all. We got our bounty contract mangler coming at me here. I put a decoy out so I could focus the fire on the mangler and see just how well this does for critical damage. And look at that. I mean, his health bar just disintegrates as I'm firing away. Unbelievable with mags of holding. Definitely one of the strong weapons to use inside of Modern Warfare 3 Zombies. And here you go, a standard HVT Mega Abomination finished in less than 15 seconds. Less than 15 seconds. This is truly amazing. This shreds tier 3. This shreds bosses. This shreds zombies. This shreds HVTs. Definitely something that's going to be viable for you all to run inside of your Modern Warfare 3 Zombies games. I feel very confident in telling you all to go ahead, check out the build at the end of the video to make sure that you've got it built properly, and any suggestions down below, leave them in the comments on the build. But look at the crowd control here inside of tier 3 with mags of holding. You can just see the carnage in front of me. Like, I have no issues. I'm not backing up. I'm just standing my ground and dishing out more damage than what tier 3 can throw at me. And in my books, that makes this weapon 100% viable for you all to use inside of tier 3. I was super excited. Look at that damage. I went back to see George, the Guardian of the Arches, with mags of holding this time because I was feeling just so confident with this weapon, dealing damage to everything inside of tier 3. And George, the Guardian of the Arches, got absolutely eviscerated by me for a second time, this time with the MTZ with mags of holding. And it's truly remarkable. Give this weapon, guys, a shot if you haven't already. I highly recommend you go and get the MTZ 5.56 and take it into MW3 Zombies and see how it works for you and how it performs for you, because in my games and from what I see in the comments, this thing is an absolute tier 3 melter, and I can confirm that in my gameplay today. Just the way I felt when I was using it during my run, absolutely strong for sure. I mean, I was having so much fun running around in tier 3. I went to try and grab another Mega Abomination, but the zone was right there inside of tier 3. So yeah, time to go. So we went and pinged our exfil and made our way over to exfil because I wanted to get out. Didn't want to lose my containment level or anything like that. So we made it out, which was awesome to see. The MTZ 5.56 with incendiary rounds is truly something that is going to be viable for you all to use inside of your Modern Warfare 3 Zombies games. Now, at the end of the video, like I always do, you will find the build that I used in today's video for the run. So let's work together down in the comments section to make any changes to the build that we feel we need so that we all have one amazing MTZ 5.56 build to use inside of our Modern Warfare 3 Zombies games. Thanks so much for tuning in, and we'll catch you guys in the next one.